Hey everybody, welcome to Wamu's World. I am back. In this video, I was supposed to come and do a show on Friday. I was exhausted from work, and sometimes that happens, and I wasn't able to come through. But I decided I will do something today, Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Thank you for everyone that liked, subscribed, commented, gave their, opinions about last video. And, definitely heard everything. And some I agree with, some I don't, but I really love the commentary. So that's definitely something that, I appreciate. Yesterday, didn't really do too much, just cleaned. Um, yesterday, I actually went to a burlesque show with a friend, and that was really a lot of fun. I've never actually been to a burlesque show. I've been to different types of shows, but not a burlesque show. So that was really cool. Um, and that's what I did yesterday. Today, a lot of like cooking and cleaning, catching up with like a lot of work. Um, and also like talking to my mom about I'll say my business venture, which I won't really talk about that. Probably not ever, because I'm just kind of like focused on that and doing that along with my current job. So um, there's one business venture that I will talk about eventually, but the other one I probably won't say it until it's solidified. So yeah, everything's been pretty good this week. I did call this show is called The Black Hole of Gender Roles. And I remember sending you guys out a topic question this week. And I did get very good commentary on that. So let's see. Oh, guys, I wanted to talk to you. So I actually went on a date like this week. I'm kind of turning off dates in August. And what I mean by that is like I'm not doing the whole online thing. I'm sticking with just meeting people organically. So this guy, he was Nigerian, um, 47, and it just felt like he had this like vision of what a Kenyan woman is, or like he had this distorted perception or generalization, and I kind of got that immediately. Um, and just like saying certain stuff, like I felt like he was, look wise, he was like, kind of like picking me out as a specimen. It was just kind of like it was really weird. Like I was just like, dude, like I mean, and then I also get like really turned off when guys are fully obsessed with another race or ethnicity other than their own. It kind of gives me this illusion like they have some kind of deeper insecurity that they need to figure out. So I just it just turned me off. It was almost like coming off like I'm a fetish or something. So I was like, no. Um, so that didn't really work out. That wasn't a very good date. Um, and there was a guy on OkCupid who called me, and it kind of like it made me like feel like he was kind of telling me his whole life story, which was really funny because he was saying a lot of stuff that was similar to the situation I had with my ex. So I was kind of like, oh gosh, it's like going down memory lane. And he had some valid points, but it was just like, wow, like first off, I was like, why would you let someone 8 years, 8 full years, and never propose to them and just like leave them hanging? That's why you don't play house. You don't move in with somebody and I'm getting it from the guy's perspective. Like he was like, we just weren't compatible. We just weren't this. We just weren't that. But I was just like, but you made her wait 8 years. Like, I mean, couldn't you have said that within the 2 years? I don't know. Um, he really liked the chick's cooking, so I guess maybe he just didn't want to get. Now he was telling me on the phone, like he was like, oh yeah, now I don't have anybody to cook for me, and I'm like, okay, I mean, but why did you make her wait that long? But anyway, that was definitely a no. Um, and I noticed here in Dallas, it's like this thing with, I hate to say it, it's like it's older men and younger women, and I don't really mind it. Actually, I don't mind it because I like older men, but it was just something about it where it's like sometimes the older guy's not mature. So like I kind of have to watch out for that a little bit. But that was kind of like my little dating experiences this week. It was crazy. Um, but let's get to the point of this show. Okay, so topic question is, let's see. When it comes to gender roles, what are your beliefs about the roles of men and women? And what I did this time is I basically immersed my opinions along with the comments. So it's kind of like telling my opinion within the comments as well. So that way, we don't take too much time. I, don't elaborate too much, and I just really get down to the meat of the topic and the meat of the answer. But let's start with the first viewer. She said, I believe in working as a team. If he cooks, I clean, and vice versa. No one is greater than the other, but I do believe the man should be the leader as he is led by God. But teamwork makes the dream work. My husband does the cooking, and I do the cleaning. So I like how this viewer really emphasized the notion of teamwork. I think men and women in a relationship should work as a team. But that's really dependent on what they consider their roles or what they consider what a woman and a man should bring to the table. And I think everybody has a different view of what that is. And so that's why I have this thing of like, I never, ever, 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 ever want to judge somebody else's relationship because that situation may work for them. It may not work for you. And, I've seen situations, relationships where I'm just like, that's not for me. Even if it's working, it's like, that's still not for me. And you kind of have to just respect that. I've seen relationships where they argue. Some people argue so much. I mean, it's almost like you think they're about on the edge of getting a divorce, or the end of like breaking up. But sometimes that's just the way they handle their matters. So you can't really look at somebody else's relationship and be like, that's not a good relationship, because you don't know. Whatever they do works for them. All right? So I love the team mentality. I love if you win, I win. But there has to be a respect with that. There has to be a respect of each other's roles and what they do to contribute to the team. There has to be that respect. If there's no respect in that, it's not going to be good. You know, no, nobody's role is better than the other. There has to be that understanding. I think even during like our grandparents' time, I don't even think there was that respect. Like, and it was because it could have been due to some certain forces, like maybe there were certain things going on in the world, and maybe the man brings back his baggage and anger and frustration and puts that on the woman, and the woman doesn't know how to handle that and just takes what comes with it, and then it's labeled as being subservient and being submissive. I mean, it's just a little deeper, I guess, in our grandparents' time, but I think ultimately it's respect. There has to be respect for both parties and what they bring to the table. All right, so another viewer said, do what works for you and your family, especially once you become parents. Dads can be just as nurturing as moms, and moms can be breadwinners too. I believe that. Do what works for your relationship, and that's what I was talking about before. What works for your relationship. You don't need to copy somebody's relationship. It may not work for you. It may not work for you. Yeah. So I like to put that out because I think some people like to think that they're the gurus of relationships, and I'm not a guru. I'm just the type of person that I only tell you what works for me, and I only tell you based off my experiences. Um, and yeah. So I know, like, probably you guys are saying like, what, Wamu, Wamosha, what works for you? The the answer to that is I don't know what works for me. And I used to think I knew what worked for me, but that didn't work. So so if you're going to ask me what works for me, like what do I think about gender roles? I think gender roles are very fluid in the society we live in today. I don't think I don't know. I don't know. I want to go to the next comment because I think that one will kind of tell you like what I believe in. He wrote a very good answer. Um, let's see. So another viewer mentioned 50-50. They're all about 50-50. Everything 50-50. I don't necessarily believe in that, but to each his own. So this is the viewer that I felt like it was very, very thorough. I mean, he even wrote it in a letter to me, which, very, very formal. I always love a good letter. Believe me, I always, anyone that knows me knows I love a good letter. Okay, so, dear Wamu, ooh, sorry guys. I believe the role of a man is leadership, stewardship, provision, guidance, and direction. These are keywords that cover major roles. On the other side, the role of the woman is support, nursing, and creating an environment that allows these two people to thrive together. Having said that, there are relationships where the woman is more empowered than the man. Here, she has to do a little more if the man is humble enough to allow her input. I believe the two first sentences, they make complete sense. That's exactly what I agree with when it comes to a man and a woman, and the roles they play in the relationship. I believe the man's the leader, the provider, the protector, the guider, and a woman is supposed to complement that by being supportive to her husband. And that means caring for the children and creating a conducive environment for the situation, a place of peace. And I definitely believe if both people are really respective of those roles, that it works. And that's just based off what I've seen in my life, what I've seen with my parents, what I've seen with relationships that have worked. It's like you have an understanding and an understanding of each other's roles, and you respect them. And then there's communication there, and also a lot of compromise. Um, and everything can't be perfect because we don't live in a perfect world. The part to me that really made me think this is a norm today, a big norm in today's society. And I'm going to repeat what he wrote at the end. There are relationships where the woman is more empowered than the man. Here, she has to do a little more if the man is humble enough to allow her input. So I really wanted to leave you guys with a question. What do you guys think if a woman is more empowered than a man? Do you think the man is humble enough to take on duties that I guess society would deem are the duties of a woman? Do you think that a man can respect that? I put emphasis on respect. Or do you think a man has to feel like a man? You know? Um, and can a man really feel like a man when they are not the leader? When they're not the financial provider? They're the cook. They take care of things in the house, things that would be deemed as duties of the woman. Because I think today we kind of live in a society where gender roles are kind of fluid. They're kind of, anybody can kind of take on a role, but essentially, like the way it was before, like the way it was back then. And back then, I mean like grandparents and even parents, to be quite honest. Is that something that is capable of changing? And I don't mean like physically changing, like the woman is just having I'm talking about deeper than that. Like, can a man really, in his brain, in his heart of hearts, respect being in the position that was once deemed a position for a woman? Um, my answer, I don't think so. I don't even really want to be in a situation like that, to be quite honest. And that's just my personal opinion. Um, I agree with that viewer's first two sentences. And I also believe I agree with the third one because, how is it humbleness, or is it like a, I don't know. I that part is the one that, like, I've been thinking about that comment for like 3 days because it's like can a man like be humbled to that point? And I'm even asking you guys this question. I don't think so. I think a man has to feel like a man. But then again, I may have an old school, you know, vibe about that. I may just, basing it off my experience and what I've seen working. So, guys, just leave a comment and let me know. So I'm actually leaving you guys with a question to answer for next week. But I'm going to put it in a more descriptive way, and then I'm going to put it out, and you guys let me know your comments on that. Um, so what am I going to do today? I think I already told you guys what I'm doing today, but I'm actually going to go to a Pilates class after this. I did tell you guys that I'm trying to eat, less meat. I'm trying to drink more water. I'm trying to like just be in a really peaceful element and focus on my passions and focus on my, business ventures and just everything. Like I want to be like, along with the dating, but I think what I'm gonna do is just go to places that I enjoy and just meet people naturally that way. Um, because in this city, it's very much possible, which is why I moved to Dallas. I felt that the place I lived in was just a bit too small. So here it's, you can literally meet all different types of people, and that's something that I'm very thankful for. Um, I am going to go. I think I'm just going to go watch a movie. I really wanted to watch that new Thor movie, so that's what I'm probably going to do tonight. Yes, I'm going by myself, and I just kind of feel like being by myself. I don't know why. I just want to be just me watching Thor. I did see that. I think the new Dragon Ball Z movie is out, and I used to watch that as a child, so I might watch that eventually, but today it's going to be Thor. It's all about Thor. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And tomorrow I'm probably going to, I need to cook for the week. So I actually want to cook chapatis this week. Um, Sometimes I have like a random, but yeah, I want to cook chapatis this week. Um, and then I already have like stew and stuff like that. And yeah, I just need to get stuff together for the week, for the work week. And yeah, and like create more content, which I need to do. I need to be more organized about that. And when I say I'm gonna do a certain, like, basically film on a certain day, I need to do that, and I need to be accountable for this show and make sure I keep my word. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. It's blazing in Dallas. It's blazing. But it's getting a little better. I think yesterday it was like, it sounds sad, but like when it's in the 90s, I'm like, wow, today's a good day. Um, but anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Comment, like, subscribe. Put in your comments. Like, if there's something that you don't agree with me, I really like commentary. I don't mind it. If I find it intriguing, I might even like respond to it right off the bat. And if you have any topic, like any topics that you want me to talk about, like I am sure I will, you know, I'll discuss it. I'll discuss it, and yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you guys learned something. Stay blessed, stay woke, and make sure to tune in next week. Thank you. And I was thinking there was one more thing. One more thing. Um, you know what? I'll make sure to mention that next week. I don't think this week is the week. All right. So you guys have a blessed day. Bye.